Hello everyone, my name is Carlos. I am a game developer, photographer, and watch enthusiast, and today I'm going to be unboxing for you guys the Mido Ocean Star GMT. For those of you guys that are new to my videos, one of the things that I try to do is that when I do this unboxing, you're going to be seeing my face as I see this watch for the first time. I'm basically going to be sharing with you my face of disappointment or my face of surprise, or hopefully just the joy of checking out some of these awesome watches that are available to us watch enthusiasts. So with that said, let's just get cutting. Alright, so inside of my cardboard box, there is just the actual watch box wrapped in cardboard. This watch was actually purchased through Joma Shop, so I have my receipt from Joma Shop. So one of the reasons why I picked up this watch is because I'm a really big fan of true GMTs. But right now, to keep it short, this Mido GMT is the only Swiss true GMT that you can get under $1,000. So these have actually decreased in price significantly since they came out. And right now there's great deals in Joma Shop and also on Amazon, where you can get these for about 900 bucks, sometimes even less. So definitely a good time to look into these Ocean Star GMT watches. All right, so we remove the cardboard around the box, and now we find your pretty typical Mido packaging, I would say. Let me see, let's continue breaking this down. We have a little cardboard sleeve, and then we have, I'm expecting to be a wooden box in here. So yeah, okay, so this is pretty standard. You have the cardboard box that opens, and then inside of there, we have the actual wooden box. And one of the things that I love about Swiss watches, particularly brands that are under the Swatch umbrella, is that even their affordable offerings usually have great packaging. So as you can tell, this Mido has this beautiful wooden box that actually swings open. Definitely beyond anything that you would get with other watches that are of the same price range. Okay, so far my impression is pretty good. So before I get too much into the first impression, and for you guys to get a good idea of how much I love the true GMTs, a few months ago I actually purchased the Seiko Presage GMT, which is also a true GMT, except that this is a Japanese true GMT. And when this came out, these were about $1,200, and I was actually really happy to find this one right about the $1,000 mark. And one of the reasons why I chose this versus the Mido is because I'm kind of a 4 Hertz snob, and this Mido uses a Powermatic that's only about 3 Hertz, but with the Seiko, with the Japanese movement, I got 4 Hertz movement, which I think it actually makes this particular Seiko model kind of special. So these two are kind of like the two competing. It's basically Switzerland against Japan for the best like true GMT offerings about $1,000. However, these watches couldn't be any more different. I would say that the Mido is definitely more of a tool watch, where the Seiko is a dress watch, but it's not so dressy that you can't like just whittle around and use it as an everyday watch. But it definitely has some really refined components and some downsides to it that the Mido, on the other hand, seems to have sort of some more practical approaches. So let's start peeling some of these stickers and taking a look at the actual watch. So, I mean, the dial and the bezel are awesome. The dial's really matte, but the glass is super flush. The Seiko sticks out a little bit, which is nice. It kind of gives it a little bit more dimension. This one's really flat, but man, I mean, the visibility on this dial is amazing. But yeah, so let's take a look at the bezel. Okay, all right. It's definitely all right. Like, I'm not super impressed by the initial sound. It has a lot of slop. And I think that if you look at all of the reviews, like, I mean, mine definitely seems to be that way, where it kind of lands at the right place and it stays there. It does seem to be aligned, but there's definitely like just quite a bit of jiggleness to it. And I would say the snap is weird, like compared to other divers that I have. Like, I have an Alpina Sea Strong 300 that has a really nice bezel on it, and that is about a $600 dive watch. So it's definitely not something as expensive. Obviously, it only has a SW200 movement in it, so it's not a GMT, right? But it's a little bit cheaper by about, you know, $400, and the bezel action is much better. Now this bezel, I mean, I feel like the bezel action on this like kind of works, but it's definitely not something that is incredibly impressive, but it's good enough. However, you don't necessarily get this watch because you want a dive watch. Honestly, for $1,000, there's much better dive watches that you can get. You really get it because it's a true GMT, as I mentioned before, and unlike something like the Seiko Presage, this has a timing bezel. It's a watch for people who really like dive watches, in my opinion. It's by all means diver first, and the GMT is kind of a second feature. So far it looks pretty good. You know what? I'm actually kind of surprised by the bracelet. Obviously I gotta remove all of the stickers from the bracelet here. But yeah, oh, I'm definitely digging it. Oh yeah. So the clasp is a very nice milled clasp, but it has this really cool ratcheting system, which means that you can adjust it while it's on your wrist. And I have a Seiko Samurai that I love, that I have a Strapco bracelet on it that has one of these ratcheting clasps on it, and I'm telling you, like these little ratcheting clasps are a game changer. Like they're really, really awesome. It would have been kind of nice to get a display case back. That's one of the things that the Seiko absolutely gives you. The Seiko's a phenomenal watch, and like it is definitely refined, and I love it. But you know, this Mido is different enough with a whole sort of dive approach to it that I personally feel like there's room in a collection for both of the watches. And obviously I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is because I've actually purchased both of them. But let's get a feel for that screw down crown. All right, really cool, really good pop. It winds really nice. Very cool. One of the things that I like about the Mido GMT versus the Seiko is that I feel like it actually has a usable date. By a usable date, I mean that I can actually see the date, where this one just has like a little kind of lollipop date that twists around. The hour hand jumping, it jumps very, very nicely. It is very tactile, and it's very, it feels good. Like there's no other way to say it. I mean, this is just an excellent watch. It has this really nice brushing on the case with these polished bevel edges. Yeah, man, you know, I mean, I feel like the price is fair. I definitely have some gripes with the Powermatic. I am not a fan, like I'll just say it, I am not a fan of Powermatic movements. I feel like you have to be very careful when you purchase them because some of the very low grade ones come with plastic escapements. People swear that they're great, but in my opinion, there's a reason why they put that on the cheapest watches. That's not the best movement that you can get. Like regular escapement that is not plastic escapement with silicone spring, completely different idea. That's usually like the top grade finish. Then sometimes you can get them COSC certified, which is great. But for me, the Powermatic is just not that sexy by itself. I would much rather have the lower power reserve and having that 4 hertz tick. I mean, that's, as I said, that's kind of my jam. And I also don't like that this Powermatic, and this is across the board, they're not as easy to regulate as the old school ERA 2824s or these Seikos, man. Like I can open one of these watches and get them running about 1 second a day with very little effort. And I do that, I work on my watches. So that's one thing that I'm kind of on the fence about the movements with these guys. But you know, for the most part, if once I put this guy on the time grapher, I actually get some good timings, I'm gonna be extremely happy with my purchase because the thing looks freaking great. I mean, it's just going to be a great everyday watch, and I love the fact that it has a timing bezel and a bezel, another 24-hour bezel. The ceramic bezel looks phenomenal. The black and orange is just fun. And man, that true GMT for like, as I said, like, I think it's $900 on Joma or on eBay. It's just a steal because you can't get anything else close to this unless you go to like a Tudor Black Bay, which that GMT is like, I want to say that it's closer on the like $3 to $4 grand. I haven't looked at them for a while, but they're definitely much more expensive. And I feel that these guys like definitely compete with that just as far as what you get for your money. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna try to get you guys some beauty footage. I'm gonna wear this for a couple of days. We're gonna get on the time grapher, and then I'll give you kind of a rundown of what the user experience is after I've actually had this guy for a while and had the ability to spend some time with it. All right, see you soon. Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to really quickly just kind of wrap up the video. Unfortunately, things have been kind of crazy lately and I have not had time to actually set up the camera and the lights and sort of give you my finishing thoughts on this whole Mido Ocean Star that I just picked up. So I think the final words are the watch runs pretty good. I've had it for about a week. And it's basically running about -2 seconds per day. So overall the accuracy is pretty good. Compared to the Seiko, I think the accuracy on both are pretty much on par. From playing with the movement though, I do feel like the Seiko movement is a little bit better in the sense that when you move that jumping hour hand for the GMT, the Mido jiggles just a little bit, which I feel like it makes it feel a little cheap. But for the price and for what you get, I think it's still pretty great. I think that the big difference is going to be like if you're trying to choose between these two watches and you're trying to figure out, okay, should I get the Seiko Presage GMT or should I get the Mido GMT? It's going to be kind of like the lifestyle that you're kind of trying to use the watch for. So for example, I feel like in the end, the Mido is going to be like a great tool, everyday watch. It's definitely not as refined. I think that when you look at the numbers and you look at the specs and you look at the finish and you look at the quality, the Seiko is a better watch. But the Seiko definitely feels like a little too elegant, especially for a guy like me. You know, I'm kind of a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy, so I definitely enjoy that watch, but it's something that I think feels a little bit more at home with, you know, at least kind of like a business casual kind of vibe, you know? However, with the Mido, I feel like this is the type of watch that you can basically take anywhere. It definitely feels more like an adventure watch. So I think it's kind of what's missing in your collection. As I said previously, I do think that there's room in somebody's collection for both of these watches. So I don't think necessarily that you have to choose either or. But like if you know that you're looking for more of like an adventure watch that is gonna be a little bit more tool watch, then the Mido is definitely gonna be it. If you're looking at something where you want something a little bit more high-end and you wanna definitely kind of get an idea of where your money's going, I definitely think that the Seiko is gonna be the best out of the two. So, but yeah, so let me know, out of the two, which one do you guys kind of gravitate towards the most? You know, I was a little surprised, to be honest, at just how good the Seiko is in comparison to the Mido. Like, as I said, I think that it's just like, it just feels like a more high-end watch, pretty much for the same money. But, you know, like tool watches, in my opinion, aren't necessarily supposed to always feel refined. That's the reason why they're tool watches and not necessarily like luxury watches. So I think that would be kind of it, you know, like, do you kind of want you know, a muscle car, or do you want something that feels like a little bit more refined? You know what I mean? Do you want something that's like a sports sedan, but maybe doesn't have the horsepower that, you know, GT500 does or something like that, you know? But anyways, that's pretty much it for me, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. I'm sorry that I kind of had to rush the end and sort of like do this phone thing to wrap it up. But if you guys are interested in seeing like a more detailed comparison between the two, or if you guys would like to see a review on the Seiko Presage that kind of shows it a little bit more close, please leave me a comment. If enough people comment, I might actually get around to doing it. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys get a chance, please like, subscribe, do all of that stuff. You know, my channel's pretty new on YouTube, so I need all the support that I can get in order to kind of grow this thing, or even to find out if people are actually interested in the type of content that I'm making. Obviously not the sort of average watch review where you just have a bunch of numbers kind of thrown at you, and instead I kind of try to give you more like my feelings and vibes and my opinions about these watches from like a kind of like a real human perspective. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.